What's going on, guys? Vital Syntax here. I wanted to talk about a couple different aspects about Battlefield 4 that I haven't really got into, including Levolution, the Commander mode, and also talk about the Battlefield 4 beta. So first, let's talk about the beta, because there's still a lot of people that are confused when it's coming and how to get access to it. There is no confirmed release date yet, but it's rumored to be either late summer or early fall. Obviously, the game's coming out in October, so it's got to be before then. The alpha is still currently underway on the PC. It's a white box alpha, so it's very, very, very early build. But there's 3 ways to get into the Battlefield 4 beta. The first one is if you pre-ordered Medal of Honor Warfighter when that came out. The second one is if you're a Battlefield 3 premium member. And the third one is if you pre-order Battlefield 4 on, I think you have to do it on Origin. I'm not sure how that would work for console players, but I do know if you order the digital deluxe version on Origin, then you'll get access to the beta. But just make sure that you check if that's something that you're buying Battlefield for, or you're pre-ordering it for the beta. Make sure that you check that it lists as one of the items that you get for pre-ordering. So anyway, let's talk about Commander and Levolution. So I think there's some misconceptions about Levolution. We saw it talked about at E3. And essentially, Levolution is the ability to change the dynamics of the map through destruction. And in some ways, we already had this in previous Battlefield games like Battlefield Bad Company 2 and Battlefield 3, but they're bringing more destruction to the game, and that's obviously a good thing. But I think people see the trailers and they see the gameplay from E3 where you see that huge skyscraper fall over, and they think, okay, now I'm able to take down every skyscraper. No, that's not the case. It's actually a programmed location where if you shoot out the support beams of that specific building, it will fall over. And yes, it's going to change the dynamics of the map. You're going to have a new flag point that's in the rubble of that, fallen skyscraper, but that doesn't mean that you'll be able to take down every building in the game. And you also saw another example where in the trailer he shoots out one of the support beams of one of the roads, and the tank falls into this little ravine, and you could shoot it from inside of the parking garage or whatever below it. Now, that's not going to be available everywhere. It's like there's going to be set locations on the map that if you use destruction to your team's advantage, or if you use C4 or a tank or whatever to take down certain areas of the map, then that'll happen. It's not like all of a sudden they've made it so every building is completely dynamic. Yeah, we'll still have destruction like we had in Battlefield 3, and there's rumored to be even more destruction in Battlefield 3, more on the level of what we had in Battlefield Bad Company 2, where you can take down basically every building in the game, but you're not going to be able to take down, every skyscraper, and every road that you go over isn't going to be held up by support beams that are be able to be taken out by C4, grenade launcher, something like that. So I just wanted to clear that up, because I think some people, they see the trailers and they're like, oh, well, Levolution is this thing that they're building into the game. Here's one of the skyscrapers falling over. I can probably take down the other skyscrapers too. Well, no, not necessarily. And it seems like there's going to be, on some of the maps, maybe not necessarily all of the maps, there's going to be a set location for something like this happening. Maybe, on a different map, you'll have a dam that you can blow up, and then water will run over the area that you're playing in, and it'll change the dynamics of the map. Or something along those lines, like something like you had in Caspian Border where you can knock over the antenna. That one didn't really have that much of an impact on the actual map dynamics. But I wouldn't be surprised if most of the maps had, a couple of different set pieces that were destructible through player control actions. That's the other thing is the skyscraper doesn't fall down by itself like the radio tower in Caspian Border and Battlefield 3 does. That falls down by itself at the end of every round. And you can't do anything to make it fall down when you want it to. Whereas this, it's actually user controlled. So it is pretty cool in a lot of those senses. Now, the next thing I want to talk about was Commander mode. And there's been a lot of concerns, and this is something I have concerns about as well, is if you put the power of Commander into one user's hands, and that user either isn't experienced enough or isn't even trying, somebody could just be trying to troll people, that could be an issue where, the commander has a huge role, and if you don't have a good commander, if you have a commander that's not even playing or not even trying, then that could make your team lose. And that's not really fair that you give all that power to one person. But I'm pretty sure that they'll have some type of mechanic in place where you can vote in a new commander, or where you can kick a current commander and allow somebody else to take that place. But I wouldn't like it. I don't want to see it in a mechanic where it's like the highest ranked player in the server gets the commander mode, or if you have experience with the commander mode, you get the commander mode, because then the people that are higher level, or the people that have always used commander, are going to continue to always use commander. And then if a new player comes along, he doesn't really get to experience that. But even more importantly, I think it would be the best idea for DICE to allow users to play around with commander mode, play around with vehicles, play around with anything outside of a multiplayer match. They need to have, and this is something that's been rumored, it hasn't been confirmed yet, but they need to have some type of like firing range. They need to have some type of obstacle course. They need to have some type of place that you can fly around vehicles. You can drive around tanks. You can fly around helicopters and jets. That way you can actually get a hang of the controls without having to mess with other people's multiplayer matches because you're crashing all the helicopters on your team, or you're not taking advantage of commander mode. So it'd be nice if in some type of playground environment they allowed you to mess with commander mode. And that's kind of the rumor, is that there was a game type that was in one of the leaked files from the alpha, and one of the game modes was called playground. And that it seems like it's something to do with, allowing people to mess around with attachments, of firing range, and things like along those lines. And it wouldn't really be that hard for DICE to really develop something like that. So I'm pretty confident that we'll see something like that, and I think it would be an awesome addition. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about Levolution. Do you think it's kind of silly? I think it's kind of like a marketing gimmick. At the same time, it's also really cool. And let me also know what you guys are thinking about the Battlefield 4 beta, if you guys are going to be playing it. It is worldwide. It's not just in certain areas, certain countries. I think there are some limitations in Asia. And if you live in Asia, you might want to check online about that. I'm not really sure exactly where it's available in Asia, but it is available worldwide. So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the battlefield.